The main question of the video is, who is that young guy from the trailer? And what did Xiao Yan do with that soul sphere he found in the Hall of Mortals? How much did it affect him? Let me remind you that after defeating the first Tianzuan and freeing the imprisoned spiritual bodies, Xiao Yan, together with Yao Lao, discovered the essence of millions of souls, a cluster of light that had been forming for nearly 1,000 years. On Yao Lao's advice, Xiao Yan took it, after destroying the branch of the Soul Hall. He had no desire to remain in the middle of a graveyard of corpses. He hid the soul sphere, turned around, and left the mountain range. Yao Lao and Zi Yan followed him. About 10 minutes after they left, the space above the mountain near the territory of the Hall of the Fallen began to pulse. A man in black appeared and rushed into the ruins of the hall. His expression immediately darkened when he saw the traces of excavation in the middle of the structure. Rage and regret arose within him. The souls that the Hall of the Fallen gathered with such difficulty over several hundred years were taken by that brat. If this news reaches the clan, even I will have to face severe punishment. That person was naturally the Deputy Hall Master of the Soul Hall. At that moment, he looked at the devastated land. The Hall of the Fallen was considered an important branch of the Soul Hall. Every soul imprisoned there possessed formidable strength. Therefore, the soul essence formed in the hall was unimaginably powerful. But now that essence had been taken by Xiao Yan, and the souls had been released, even the Soul Hall would not tolerate such losses so easily. Xiao Yan is protected by an expert of the ancient Void Dragon tribe. My strength alone is not enough to deal with her. Apart from the Hall Master, no one in the Soul Hall is capable of killing that boy. We are the ones to blame for allowing him to grow. The Deputy Hall Master shook his head in regret. News that the branch of the Soul Hall had been destroyed spread throughout the Central Plains. All factions clearly understood the might of the Soul Hall. This overbearing power stood at the peak of the Central Plains. Even the Pill Tower had suffered defeats in numerous battles. But when the shocking news spread among the masses, many people naturally felt joy. A new powerful faction called the Heavenly Mansion Alliance had managed to deliver a proper blow to them. Previously, almost no one placed much hope in the alliance. Now many began to think that the alliance was capable of standing against the Soul Hall. The destruction of the Hall of the Fallen was an achievement that even the Pill Tower had never accomplished. This time, the alliance had done what the alchemists could not. While everyone was celebrating, Xiao Yan rested for several days to prepare for absorbing the soul essence. His soul realm had already advanced to the heavenly state. He was even slightly stronger than Yao Lao, but above the heavenly state there existed an even more powerful level, the perfect heavenly state. As we know, Xiao Yan had been improving his soul realm, and now it had reached the heavenly level. Let me remind you that spiritual realms are divided into 4 levels: the mortal or human state, the soul state, the heavenly state, and the divine state. The soul state was required to grant a medicinal pill spirituality. However, a prerequisite for this effect was that the soul must be filled with sufficient spirituality. Nevertheless, without a special soul training method, a person would not be able to perceive this so-called spirituality. Moreover, this kind of spiritual cultivation had completely disappeared after countless years of history. Therefore, to enter the mysterious state and increase the spirituality of one's soul, one could only rely on external objects. Spiritual strength was an extremely mysterious energy. It did not possess the destructive power of Do Qi, but it was a great source of nourishment for the soul. After attacking the branch of the Soul Hall, Xiao Yan discovered the mysterious essence of an enormous number of souls, a kind of soul sphere. And Xiao Yan decided to absorb it. His soul realm had already advanced to the heavenly state. He was even slightly stronger than Yao Lao, but above the heavenly state there was an even more powerful level, the perfect heavenly state, also known as the peak of the heavenly state. Only after reaching the perfect heavenly state of the soul is it possible to begin comprehending the legendary divine state. Very few people could reach the divine state even in ancient times. Those who managed to cultivate it were rare beings of the ancient era. For example, the demon saint Huang Quan in the Yellow Springs of Tranquility. Although reaching the divine state of the soul does not mean stepping into the realm of a Do Di, the significance of such development should not be underestimated. Upon reaching the peak of the 9-star saint, spiritual power would allow a practitioner's strength to surpass ordinary understanding. Such a person might even become a half-Saint Ban Shan, like Saint Huang Quan. Of course, cultivating the soul realm is an extremely difficult process. On the entire continent, very few manage to reach the perfect heavenly state. The mysterious founder of the Small Pill Tower was clearly one of them. The leaders of the Gu and Hun clans had most likely also reached this level, but in any case, the number of those who succeeded was incomparably small. In the end, Xiao Yan began absorbing the soul sphere. Upon contact, he sensed the vast and mighty power contained within it. First, he refined it using heavenly flame, purifying it. He formed seals, releasing spiritual strength. It transformed into a human figure that looked exactly like Xiao Yan. It sat opposite him and opened its mouth, drawing the sphere toward itself. The incomparably pure essence wrapped around Xiao Yan and then flowed into his mouth. A mysterious crystalline layer began forming on the surface of Xiao Yan's soul as he absorbed more and more of the soul essence. Essentially, this purified soul essence was being absorbed into Xiao Yan's soul. His soul, which looked exactly like Xiao Yan, was usually incorporeal, but now it increasingly began to resemble a real human body. Inside the soul sphere was extremely pure soul essence energy. This essence had formed after the soul hall extracted more than 1 million souls. Even Xiao Yan felt how tiny he truly was in the face of such energy. His cultivation caused a significant disturbance. Many experts of the Falling Star Pavilion felt dizziness. That kid's spiritual strength is becoming terrifying. Yao Lao's group also appeared in the sky and looked toward Xiao Yan with serious expressions. Even they could not withstand that spiritual pressure. Now Xiao Yan had far surpassed his mentor both in Do Qi strength and in soul cultivation. Perfect heavenly state. Apart from the founder, no one in the Pill Tower had reached this level for more than 1,000 years. The first elder of the Pill Tower was astonished by Xiao Yan's strength. He quietly sighed, as his own soul cultivation had been stuck at the advanced heavenly state for many years, yet he had never touched the perfect heavenly state. That was why he understood how difficult it was to achieve. Yao Lao smiled slightly, unable to hide the joy in his eyes. After 50 days, Xiao Yan was finally about to awaken. Xiao Yan sat atop a mountain, and in front of him was a figure as if encased in crystal. Its appearance was exactly the same as Xiao Yan's. The crystalline person sat like a statue. It opened its mouth and inhaled the remaining soul sphere. Xiao Yan's soul body suddenly trembled violently, causing strange heavenly phenomena and lightning. Yao Lao was shocked by the power of the perfect heavenly state of the soul. Now, using only his spiritual strength, Xiao Yan could fight against a 2-star saint. Once the soul reaches the perfect heavenly state, it becomes no different from a physical body. It is even possible to separate the soul during battle and unite with it. And this is far superior to his clone from the 3000 lightning illusory body technique. The coordination between two such practitioners is incredible. The expert's combat power increases many times over. Before reaching the perfect heavenly state, the soul is rather fragile. No alchemist would dare to release it into the outside world. Damage to the soul is extremely difficult to endure. However, upon entering the perfect heavenly state, the soul gains the ability to exist in another form. Moreover, its sturdiness does not to that of a physical body. In battle, such an ability brings tremendous advantages. Although the perfect heavenly state belongs to the heavenly state class, its capabilities differ significantly from the rest. From a certain perspective, such a practitioner gains an additional companion in battle. The strength of this companion is completely identical to that of the soul's owner. In other words, this ability can be compared to the Do Qi technique 3000 lightning illusory body, which allows one to form an incarnation, but its strength and other aspects cannot compare to the body that the soul obtains upon breaking through to the perfect heavenly state. Thus, Xiao Yan obtained a truly powerful enhancement. After that, Xiao Yan used his spiritual sphere to undertake a real journey. With the power of his mind, invisible spiritual fluctuations reached everyone within the star domain. Events within a radius of 500 kilometers around the Falling Star Pavilion were imprinted in Xiao Yan's mind. His spiritual consciousness, or soul, flew even further beyond the pavilion. Along the way, he encountered several powerful souls. He even felt the attention of souls hidden deep within the mountains, who had clearly noticed his presence. The Central Plains were indeed filled with hidden experts. The spiritual fluctuations rapidly expanded. Xiao Yan was about to stop when he suddenly noticed a strange power. The speed of his spiritual fluctuations far exceeded that of a physical body. In a brief instant, Xiao Yan's soul reached the source, a creamy white flame emerging from beneath the ground. When his soul touched that creamy white light, intense burning pain enveloped it. He sensed the appearance of the purifying lotus flame. While he was still in shock, the mysterious cluster of light in his mind, obtained from the ancient map, trembled violently. As he examined the place where the heavenly flame had appeared, the surrounding space suddenly rippled. Incomparably powerful spiritual fluctuations burst forth and fiercely crashed toward Xiao Yan. The sudden strike caught him off guard. A buzzing mixed with a headache filled his mind. Who is there? He reacted quickly. Regaining composure after the attack, Xiao Yan realized that since the attacker managed to injure him, that person's spiritual strength was no weaker than his own. So you are that young man from the Xiao clan, Xiao Yan? The voice in the empty space surprised him. Who are you? And why did you attack me? It seems the soul essence of the Hall of the Fallen has already been absorbed by you. Otherwise, you would never have been able to break through to the perfect heavenly state of the soul. You truly deserve the name that caused my soul hall to suffer repeated failures. Your actions also match Xiao Xian's style. It was the hall master of the soul hall himself. Powerful fluctuations suddenly surged within Xiao Yan's soul heart. Who else but the hall master of the soul hall could have cultivated his soul to such a level? Space trembled, and a black hand formed in the sky. It rushed downward straight toward Xiao Yan's soul. The hall master of the soul hall, Han Mieshang, intended to seize the opportunity to destroy Xiao Yan's spiritual consciousness. That would have been a tremendous blow to Xiao Yan. But someone intervened, that very young man from the trailer. Han Mieshang, isn't attacking a member of the younger generation going too far, considering your status? A hand of the same size collided with the black hand. A terrifying spiritual storm burst out from the point of collision, and space cracked. Xiao Yan felt as if his soul had been violently pushed, hearing a thunderous whistle near his ear. In a brief moment, he regained his senses, cold sweat appearing on his forehead. Thousands of kilometers away from the falling star pavilion, a cow was grazing when Xiao Yan's soul returned to his body. Near the cow stood a man in age, though in the series he appears as a young man. He slowly raised his head and looked toward the northwest. The birth of the purifying lotus flame will inevitably trigger a shocking battle. Who was he? He was the founder, the ancestor of the Pill Tower. He himself is a mutated 9th-tier medicinal pill that managed to cultivate into an expert. His strength reaches that of a 6-star saint. He is far stronger than the Hall Master of the Soul Hall. As we can see, he secretly protects Xiao Yan. But his main enemy is also the Soul Hall. Why does he appear as a young man in the series, but as an elderly man in the original? He has a strange trait. This pill ancestor likes to wander and travel the world. He finds cases where a child died before being born due to an accident. After discovering a fetus that died at an early stage, he uses a special method to enter the body and turn into an ordinary infant. He is born, grows up, and lives as another person until that body eventually dies. Only then does he leave the body. As the old man once said, this means he experiences life. Agree, it is quite a strange occupation, but a 9th-tier pill is not an ordinary existence either. That is why he can possess different bodies. So Xiao Yan reached the perfect heavenly state of the soul. After returning to his body from that journey, and after that encounter with the Hall Master of the Soul Hall, Xiao Yan opened his eyes, cold sweat flowing down his body. He looked serious, as he had not expected that while wandering with his soul, he would meet the mysterious Hall Master. If the Pill Tower ancestor had not helped him, it would have been difficult for Xiao Yan to escape. Although in terms of spiritual strength they are equal, the Hall Master spoke the truth. Between him and the young man there is still a colossal difference in overall strength. Yes, the Hall Master of the Soul Hall is even more powerful than Ziyan. Interesting events await us ahead. Thank you very much for watching. Subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and that's all for now.